Hello, soulmates. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber and a returning viewer, thank you for sticking to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching us how to draft and cut this beautiful shawl collar wrap jacket top. So if this is something you like, please stay tuned to the end of the channel as I show you the step-by-step process on how to draft and cut it. Thank you so much. So we are going to start drafting from the back pattern, just as you can see. So I've gone ahead to place the shoulder line, the chest line, the waistline and the hip line. So the entire length of this pattern paper is what I am using for the length of the blouse. So let's say I'm using length 24. Do you understand? So we are drafting the back pattern because we'll be needing the neck width of the back for the front pattern. So that's why we are starting from the back. So next up, I'm going ahead to place the shoulder line on the shoulder line and the half of your shoulder measurement on the shoulder line and on the chest line. So you go ahead and roll a straight line across, just as you can see. So 1 inch for shoulder slope, and I mark 3 inches for the neck width and 1 inches for the neck depth. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect all the points together and also connect the neckline. So on the waistline, I'm going to mark about 0.75. So this is for you to have a nice fitting at the back. You know that our back is not straight. So just go ahead and connect the points like this, just the way I'm doing. Just follow what I am doing like this. Just connect the lines together, just as you can. So on the waistline, after the 0.75, you are going to mark half of your bust span measurement. So make sure that you add 0.75 to your bust span when you are marking it on the chest line and on the hip line, or on your blouse length or jacket length, so that the lines will be equal. Do you understand? So you mark it there, then you roll a straight line, just as you can see. You roll a straight line across. So next up, we are going to be taking the dart intake on the waistline. So on the waistline, I'm just going to mark in half an inch on both sides, just half an inch on both sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect it to the chest line this way on both sides, and also connect it to the hip line or your blouse length or your jacket length. You connect it on both sides, just as you can see. So now we're going to go to the chest line. So on the chest line, you place quarter of your bust measurement, plus ease. I added 0.5 inches as ease. So the waist measurement, quarter of it, plus the dart intake, plus 0.5 inches ease. So for the hip measurement, a quarter of your hip plus 0.5 inches ease. So the reason for adding this is so that the clothes will not be too fitted. Do you understand? So you have a little bit of ease around your body. Do you get? So the ease you might want to add can be 0.5 or 1 inch, depends on you. So now we'll go to the chest line. So I'm going to mark on the arm side line. So you get the midpoint, come in by half an inch, just as you can see. Then you just connect the points together so that we can get our armhole. Connect the points together. Then you use the curvy part of your ruler to get the armhole curve, just as you can see. So the front of this dart has a princess dart, so I'll also be using princess dart for the back. You might use the shoulder dart for the back, depends on what you want. So you get the midpoint of your arm side, just as you can see. Then you connect it to the chest line, to that dart point. So you just connect it this way. So you don't make it too curvy. So you connect it this way. So this is what we have for the princess dart. So on the hip line by the side there, I went up by 1 inch so that the place doesn't look too straight by the side. Then just connect it using your curvy ruler like this, so that I have a little bit of slight curve around the bottom part. So you go ahead and label your patterns, just as you can see. So next up, we're going to go ahead and determine the length. So as I said earlier, the length I'm using is 24 inches. So I'm just taking note of that so that I can be able to use that same length for the front pattern. So just go ahead and cut out your pattern this way. Just carefully look at the way I'm cutting it out. So just carefully cut it. So for the front pattern, this is what we have. We need to leave a little bit of margin, like spaces at the top and at the center front. So on the shoulder line, I think I left about 5 inches, and at the center front here I left about 6 inches. This is because it's a wrap top and it's a shawl collar. You need some extensions, do you understand, before drafting your actual pattern. First you start drafting your actual pattern for the style, do you understand? So that's the reason for leaving out these lines. So now I'm just going to go ahead and mark the chest line, the waistline, chest line, the waistline, and the hip line. So the length of the dress, I already marked it, which I've been calling the hip line. So that's about 24 inches, same as the front. So I've gone ahead to roll a straight line across. So I'm just trying to mark the bust point. You also take note of the bust point measurement, you mark it. So I'm just going to go ahead and label the lines, just as you can see. So these are the horizontal lines that you need to mark down. Do you understand? Now you're going to be placing half of your shoulder measurement on the shoulder line and on the chest line, just as you can see. So you go ahead and roll a straight line across this way. So the neck width and neck depth I am using is 3 inches by 3 inches. 3 inches by 3 inches. So you just go ahead and use the curvy part of your ruler to connect the neckline this way. So the shoulder slope, I use 1.5 inches for shoulder slope. So I'm just going to connect it to the neckline this way. So next up, we're going to be placing our bust span or nipple to nipple measurement on the bust point line up to the top length or jacket length. Then you roll a straight line across, just as you can see. So the dart intake on both sides on the waistline is 0.5 inches. So in total, that is 1 inch. So just go ahead and connect the point this way. Just as you can see, just do exactly what I am doing. So let's move to the armhole. So now you get the midpoint of your chest line. You get the midpoint. Then you come in by half an inch. So you're just going to connect the points this way. So you connect it this way, and you also connect it to the chest line using the curvy part of your ruler. So this is for us to get our armhole, just as you can see. Let's place our body measurement. So on the chest line, you place quarter of your bust measurement plus 0.5 inches ease. So on your waist measurement, quarter of your waist measurement plus the dart intake 1 inch plus 0.5 inch ease. Then on the hip line or the blouse length, the quarter of your hip measurements plus 0.5 inches ease. So you just go ahead and connect all the points together, just as you can see. Connect the points together this way. So I'm just going to be extending the waistline, the bust point line, the chest line, and the shoulder line. I'm just going to be extending the lines a little bit. So now we're going to determine the extension of the wrap top. You know, it's a wrap top, or let's say wrap jacket. So I'm using 4 inches. So now I just marked what I have from before my first dart leg this way. Then after it, so I had about 3 inches plus 1 inch. So that's 1 inch. So let's say I'm using 4 inches. So you mark that 4 inches on the bust point, waistline, and on the blouse length. So you roll a straight line across. So now you want to determine where the wrap should stop, so where you'll be able to tie it. So now I'm just marking 1 inch above the waistline, just as you can see. So I'm just connecting it to the neckline this way. Just roll a straight line, just as you can see. So you roll a straight line. So next up, you are going to bring out your back pattern. You can see the reason for drafting the back pattern first. So you are going to mark the neckline of your back pattern, what you have there. So whatever you have there could be 3.5 inches, could be 4 inches, could be 3 inches. So it's going to serve as extension of the front, because this is a short collar. It's going to serve an extension. So from that line on the neckline, just indicate whatever you have. It could be 3.5. Then just connect it to your neckline, just as you can see. You connect it this way. So you go outward, that is by this side, you mark 0.5 inches. So then you connect it to your neckline. This is so that the collar will be able to relax well. it will be able to relax your, do you understand? So now you're going to determine the length of the shawl collar, how wide you want it to be. You're going to determine that. Okay, so I'm using 3.5 inches. So you're going to mark it from that point that you mark 0.5 inches outward. So you rule a slanted line, not a straight line. You can see the way my ruler is. The line is not going to be straight, it's going to be slanted, just as you can see. So now you're just going to be ruling this straight line first, because you want to be connecting, you're going to connecting this line to that point that you marked. That is 1 inches above the waistline. Just use the curvy part of your ruler to complete it, because you know it's shawl collar, it's not straight, so it has this curvy effect. So it just depends on what you want that you feel it will work for you. Do you understand? So let's say this is what we have. So on the hip line by the side, I came up by 1 inch as well, just like the way we did for the back. I came up by, I think it's half an inch. So whatever you use, maybe 1 inch or half an inch, make sure that it's the same with the back. So you just connect it this way using the curvy part of your ruler. So now it's a princess dart. So you get the midpoint of your chest line this way. So I'm getting the midpoint. So whatever is your midpoint, you locate it. Then you take the curvy part of your ruler. Then you connect it to the bust point where you have your, you put a dimple line. That's your bust span. So now I'm just going to be coming down by 1 inch. So I'm coming down by 1 inch. So you just connect it to the bust point this way. So because I came down by 1 inch, I need to extend that line by 1 inch as well. When I extend it by 1 inch, I have to draw a new hammer, just as you can see. You draw a new hammer. This way you don't have shortage, everything is equal. This way you don't have shortage, everything is equal. So you draw a new hammer. So this is what we have. So now we are done drafting the front pattern. So I'm just going to go ahead and label it. So next up, we're just going to go ahead and cut. So just carefully look at how I'll be cutting this front pattern. You can see the way I'm cutting the shawl collar part. You can see I'm cutting it together. I'm not cutting that line out. Just carefully look at it this way. So do not rush the process when you are cutting. Just be patient. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut this side as well. So guys, if this is something you like, don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, comment, like and share. So this is for the front pattern. So now for the back pattern, so we're not done cutting the back pattern. So now I'm just going to go ahead and continue cutting the back pattern from where I stopped. So this is what we have for the back pattern as well. So if you are cutting, you'll be cutting two piece for it, even for your lining as well. You'll be cutting about two piece. Yeah, you'll be cutting two piece as well. So this is what we have for the front and the back pattern. So I'm just going to go ahead and curve this face, just fold it to show you how the shawl collar looks like. So this is what you have, unlike a notch collar that you have the collar removed. So this one is different. So we have come to the end of this tutorial, guys. So I'll see you in my next video. Stay blessed.